What is going on, Raptors Nation? It is Luca here, back with another video. So the unofficial start of the second half of the season kicks off on Friday for the Raptors, as they will be back in action. They've been off for a week. They will take on Miami. As of course, the Raptors, they do have their sights set on the upcoming draft. That is clear as day. While teams are going to be pushing for the playoffs, the Raptors, it seems like they're going to have other things on their mind. So in this one, I just want to talk about the Raptors and their expectations for the final bit of the season and tell you what to expect from this team. Do me a solid, guys. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. So at the time of this recording, the Raptors are 17-38, and they have the fifth worst record in the league. And if you look at where they stand via Tankathon, if the season ended today, the Raptors would have a 42.1% chance at landing a top 4 pick and a 10.5% chance at landing the number 1 pick. They're 2.5 games back of the Charlotte Hornets for the 4th worst record in the reverse standings. And they got a little bit of cushion on both the Philadelphia 76ers and Brooklyn Nets, who are on the Raptors' tail in the reverse standings for that 5th worst record. And if you want to look further than Charlotte, the Raptors are 3.5 back of Utah to get into that bottom 3 in the reverse standings. I don't think they're going to catch Utah, but they could potentially catch Charlotte. But honestly, how things are looking right now, I think if the Raptors play their cards right, they should be able to just stay where they're at right now and finish with the 5th worst record. And then ultimately, if they are able to get the 5th pick in the upcoming draft, I think that's a good spot to be. I still think you could get a very good, young, talented player to add to this core of Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Manuel Quickley, and for the time being, RJ Barrett. So I think for the Raptors, Bobby Webster has come out and said it. It's obvious at this point. Does it make sense for this team to push for the play-in, especially considering Brandon Ingram is still out and there's no definitive timetable for his return? This team should just simply bottom out. Now, they're going to have to get strategic and maybe bench some guys, rest some guys down the stretch, because I'm about to pull up their schedule in just a second here. The Raptors, they do have a difficult stretch of games coming out of this break, but then towards the end of the season, as you're going to see, there's going to be a lot of easy games, winnable games, if you will, and they're going to be going head-to-head against teams that are going to be a part of that race for the bottom. So that's where the Raptors might have to get creative of, like, giving a guy a night off, or very cautiously watch Brandon Ingram and bring him back be very, very mindful when they bring him back. Like, I'd be surprised if we see Brandon Ingram for more than 10 games at this point. Like, I think we are going to see Brandon Ingram. Raptors definitely want to see what he looks like with this group, and don't want to wait until next season to see that. But if I had to make a guess, maybe 5 to 7 games of Brandon Ingram, I would put it at. Like, I'd be shocked if we see him for more than that, more than 10 games, especially considering there's 27 games left in the season. And again, he is not going to be back for at least another month. So that would bring us to March 18th. And at that point, you only got a few weeks left of the season. And, Bobby Webster said that that's the team's priority right now. They're mindful of the draft. They've been aware of the draft. They know how talented this draft is. And really, at first, the Brandon Ingram trade's like, what is this team doing? Are they actually going to go for it? But then if you look at it as just strictly like they made the move for next season, that makes a lot more sense, as the team is just going to pack it in, try to get a top pick, and then next season is going to be guns a-blazing. The Toronto Raptors are in a position now where they can definitely be competitive for next season, and this is the last we can entertain of tank and losing a ton of games. At least that's the idea here. So that's what's at stake here. Tankathon is going to be at the forefront. The Raptors, can they lose more than win? That's going to be the biggest question, and how they're able to tank down the stretch, that's going to be the biggest question, because I'm going to pull it up now. You look at the Raptors' schedule. Okay, so coming out of the All-Star break, you got the Heat, Suns, Celtics, Pacers, Bulls, Magic. So basically 6-7 of the Raptors' next 8 games theoretically come against playoff-esque teams, all teams that have something to play for. The Heat trying to get into that top 6 still. The Suns trying to even get into the play-in. The Celtics obviously trying to hold on to trying to make up ground on the 1 seed. And then the Pacers and then the Magic, who are now relatively healthy. So the only team there are the Chicago Bulls, who are expected to be at the bottom. So out of the break, I think the Raptors should be able to, I guess, maintain a losing pace, if you will. Jakob Poeltl, there's still no update on if he's going to be back. Brandon Ingram's not going to be back. We did see the return of RJ Barrett before the break, before heading into the break. So it looks like barbecue will be good. But the two biggest injuries that remain, of course, Brandon Ingram and Jakob Poeltl, two pretty big components to this team. So yeah, we'll see the Raptors out of this break kind of play some difficult teams. But then this is where it gets a little bit interesting and concerning if you just want to see the Raptors lose the rest of the way, which I think a lot of fans are kind of in agreement on at this point. Yeah, they got a lot of winnable games, if you will. Like, you look at the Raptors, I think call it last 19 when I was looking at it. I think that's the number that it came up on. You got the Wizards that you're playing a couple of times here. I believe 3 times. Yeah, March 8th, March 10th, and then again March 24th. You got the Jazz that you're playing twice. You got the Blazers that you're playing twice. And you got the Hornets that you're playing a few times as well. Yeah, you got the Hornets twice. And then you got the Nets twice. So those are a lot of winnable games. And you look at the schedule here, a lot of lesser teams coming up. Like, just looking at it, after that March 4th matchup against the Magic, you got the Jazz, who right now are down and out, the Wizards, the Sixers, who, again, could be a part of this tankathon by the time we get to March 12th. They have not been good. The Jazz, the Blazers. So, like, the Raptors literally have a chance to win all those games. Like, they literally just beat the Sixers. And then you have the Suns, who that's going to be an important game for them. The Warriors are going to be much improved. The Spurs, you would think, are going to be fighting for a play-in spot. But then, yeah, the Wizards, Nets, Hornets, Sixers again. Like, they got the Sixers a couple more times, and then the Bulls again, and then the Blazers, and then the Pistons, who are going to be battling for a playoff spot. I can't believe I'm saying those words, but it's true. And then you close the season with Nets, Hornets, Mavericks. What's the state of the Mavericks going to be at that point? Are they even going to be healthy? And then you end the season with the Spurs. That's probably going to be a big game for the Spurs when it comes to the play-in. But as you can see there, guys, like, there's a lot of winnable games. So that's the concerning part I have about, like, this tankathon. I think out of the break, it serves well, but it's going to be interesting down the stretch to be able to, like, lose to teams like the Nets, the Blazers, the Wizards. Like, you're not losing to the Wizards. So, like, how are the Raptors going to, play this out? And then you got to take account too, like, if Ingram does come back for like 5 to 7 games, like, against these teams, those are the closest thing to wins you're going to find all season with a healthy Raptors team. So are the Raptors even going to bring back Ingram? Is that a possibility? Like, is there a chance we don't see Ingram at all? If that happens, I'd be very shocked. But yeah, are the Raptors going to get strategic with ghost injuries? I know we're going to get a whole ton of the young guys. I think that's a foregone conclusion. I mean, Webster already hinted at that. We're going to get a lot of the rookies and the younger players. Expect more Chomsky for sure. But how are the Raptors going to be able to withstand that final stretch? I believe it's the last 19 games where, as I just presented to all of you, they play a lot of teams that are going to be a part of that bottom equation. They're going to be flat out bad. So can the Raptors tankathon be as strong as the other bottom teams tankathon? I think that's the bottom line question in all of this. So we'll see how it plays out, but hopefully the Raptors, like I said, if they play their cards right, they remain with the fifth worst record. I think all things considered, you'll take that, having the 5th pick in the upcoming draft. I still think you could get a very good player. I know you're not a part of that top 3, which would be super ideal, but again, it's going to be tough to crack that bottom 3 with their schedule. So if you remain as is, bottom 5 with the 5th pick, I think that would be a win for this Raptors team. Again, all things considered. So let me know your thoughts, guys, when it comes to the Raptors and their last part of the schedule here. Leave your comments down below. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and go and follow me on X at Luca Rosano 3. That is it for me. It's Luke signing off. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next one.